Skip, we was in a relationship for 10 years. We got 2 kids, beautiful kids. And you're going to let 1 year, 2 years of a bad ruin everything that we accomplished together? Pete, who gives it? You know what about a wristband? Y'all won a Super Bowl. Had an opportunity. If it wasn't for your dumb play calling, you might have won 2. Russ has moved on. Skip, it looks like the last 2 years were hell for both guys, and both are happy to have moved on. But it seems like to me, every chance Pete gets, he takes a shot at Russ. Because I guess Russ didn't no longer want to play. Russ felt his voice wasn't being heard, or whatever the case might be. Skip, come on, Pete. Skip, I've never seen anything like this. Now, maybe you have, where a player leaves and the coach continuously takes shots at him from afar.
At him. Shannon Sharp, after 2.5 hours of show, I finally agree with you on a point times 10, because this wasn't Pete Carroll, this was Petty Carroll.
Yes.
This is petty.
Yes. Ain't nobody asked him about.
Pete Carroll addressed how Geno Smith has led the Seahawks to a successful 6-3 start on the season, while also making reference to former Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. Here's what Pete Carroll had to say.
If you notice, Geno's going off the wristband, and that's a big help. It's smoothed things out, sped things up, cleaned things up, and that's part of it too. And we never did that before. There was resistance to that, so we didn't do that before.
Pete Carroll said something about putting a wristband, putting play calls on a wristband.
I don't know exactly what he said, but I think won a lot of games there without one on the wrist. But and I didn't know winning or losing mattered if you wore a wristband or not.
How important is that wristband? I don't know. Shannon, whose side are you on here?
Skip, I'm on Russ. Pete, let it go. Skip, it's like a relationship. Right. But Pete, I don't know why you need it. Nobody asked you whether or not Russ, there was resistance to it. Man, nobody asked you that. Nobody dry snitching on Russ for no reason.
I thought it was really beneath the dignity of a Pete Carroll.
I thought,
he's really lowering himself to do this.
Yeah, Petty Carroll, you got a good name for him.
Okay. Petty. Way to go, Petty.
Petty Pete.
Wristband gate in full effect. All right, gentlemen, up next, please explain, how have the Jazz become one of the best teams in the NBA?
Yeah.
That's next. Ezekiel Elliott telling reporters, quote, "when we want him," referring to the possibility of the Cowboys landing OBJ. Also, Nate Davis of USA Today ranked 13 teams where OBJ could land. Number 1, Skip's Cowboys. Davis writing, quote, "Beckham is obviously a luminary who..."
Add another $35-40 million on top of that.
And he will be worth it.
He gonna go get it. So, Skip, that's the problem that I see the Cowboys having. Yes, they want his services. Yes, I believe they can use his services. But when the supply is limited and the demand is high, value rises. Looking at Jerry like El Paso. you know,
he said to Randy Gregory, El Paso, as in I pass.
I pass.
Yeah.
And so, Skip, we might be headed down to a situation like that. And then guess what? In 2023, guess who that kind of got cap here about $42 million? Yo guy, Dakota Rain Prescott. And that cap here about to rain on your parade.
It is.
So when I look at it, Skip, I just don't see OBJ interested. He's not going to give you what he gave the Rams. Remember, Skip, he signed that minimum contract, had incentives. If we win this game, win the playoff game, win the NFC, win the Super Bowl. I don't see...
could shine brightly as part of the America's Team mythology and might just be the guy who finally puts a title-starved franchise over the top. All right, Shannon, yesterday you gave the OBJ to Dallas scenario a 10% chance. Does this change your mind?
Absolutely not, because Zeke doesn't own the Cowboys. And Zeke, I don't see Zeke name at the bottom right of that check where they put that, at the top left, Dallas Cowboys Incorporated. Skip, look, what's Zeke supposed to say? I think there are a lot of guys that would love to have Zeke on their team. Skip, remember? Von Miller was doing IG Live every day, had OBJ on it. And we was doing that like, what's the chances? I'm like, it ain't no guarantee he going to Buffalo. If there's no, Skip, here's the thing. It's called supply and demand.
By the way, Von was booking it, man.
Booking it. He's coming here.
All right.
It's called supply and demand.
Yep.
There's a huge demand for OBJ services. But the problem is the supply. There's only one of him. So anytime you get supply and demand, what you get, Skip? You get into him doing a deal like that, giving the Cowboys the discount that he gave the Rams. And so for that, Skip, no, my percentages have not gone up as far as him going to the Cowboys.
Shannon Sharp, on this day, I'm not going to let you rain on my parade because my parade that I'm throwing right now is for Odell coming to Dallas and dropping anchor. If he wants to live in Highland Park, down the street from Jerry Jones, big old mansion, he can. It's a good place to live. Troy Aikman lives there. It's a great place to live.
But that is not close
I lived there for a long time.
That's not close to the facility. Don't you want to get close to the facility?
Well, don't you want to live where the rich people or these pseudo-wealthy people live?
I'm not, Skip. I'm not. Look, I'm trying to roll out of bed. I'm not trying to be out doing all that traffic. Highland Park is not close to the Frisco where they train at.
But maybe you can build a helicopter deck above your mansion and do what Jerry does. He just copters.
Nah.
Right?
Nah.
Okay. You can do whatever you want in Dallas, Texas.
You could.
All right. You did chuckle. I heard you chuckle during Jen's read in which she read Nate Davis's last line, and I was impressed that he's got 13 teams on this list, and he made strong cases for all 13. But when he got to number one, it was that team. It was America's team. And that
for bidding situation. Now, the Cowboys have $6.9 million left. Now, OBJ says, I've done the rock and roll thing, which means living out a suitcase, doing the one-year deals.
Yep.
I want something a little more long-term. I want something a little bit more concrete.
He wants to buy a home, he said.
Yeah.
Drop roots.
Here's the thing, though. Now, he wants at least a 2-year deal, possibly 3. Guess who's coming up for contracts? Trayvon Diggs. He's a second-round pick. He's finishing up his 3rd year, heading into the 4th. You might want to do something. What about your guy, the receiver, Skip? He's finishing up his 3rd year, heading into his 4th year when they normally give these extensions. So you got 2 young dogs that you drafted that you definitely want to hold on to, and they're not coming cheap. Trayvon Diggs gonna want, he gonna want that J. Ram money. He gonna want that Xavier Howard money.
And by the way, 11 from heaven is going to want to just break the bank.
He next year.
Yeah.
So whatever they gave Myles Garrett, whatever they gave T.J. Watt.
Yep.
Russ.
No, nobody asked him. He volunteered. There was resistance to it. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now we know exactly who you're taking a shot at. Again, he's rubbing it in. He's trying to say, look at me. I was right all along. Everybody said we were dead. We aren't dead.
Yes.
Look what Geno is doing. He's even better than the other guy used to be, right? And I did love Russ's response, and I felt sorry for him because I think he got blindsided by this question. And he said, beautifully, perfectly, we won a lot of games there without a wristband.
Look, I get it because you can look at, play 14. 2-jet flanker drive, X comeback. Yeah. 2-jet flanker drive, X comeback.
It does speed up.
Yes.
If you're not sure of it, they're calling a play and you can look at the formations on your wristband. And Tom Brady looks at his wristband.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
If Russ was,
but Russ was more extemporaneous, and a lot of times he was just making it up on the fly, and it worked.